Hello, welcome to Harvesting with Molly. So today we're going to talk about beets. In this particular bed I have 3 different varieties in here. I have our golden beets. Let's bring the sign over here so you can see. Our golden beets. We have your classic red beet and a fun heirloom beet known as Chioggia beets. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Some people pronounce it differently. And we're gonna talk about how to harvest these guys. So it's tricky to know when they're ready because you can't see them from underground. And so the best way to know is keeping track of when you planted is helpful. So I planted these about 3 months ago. Takes about 2 to 3 months before they're ready, depending on what season you plant them. And then with that information, you can also go ahead, a little trick that I like to do is I just remove some of the dirt. Can you see that? I'll bring the camera closer in just a second. So I just move some dirt at the base of the beet, and you can see, if you can see that, it has a nice circumference there. It's about probably around 2 or 3 inches, and that can kind of tell you how big it's gonna be. So your best bet is to just go ahead and pull some out just to see. So I move the soil around. It looks big enough for me, and I'm gonna pull it out and shake it off, and look at that. We have like a perfectly sized beet right here. Let's check these golden beets here and compare. So this one looks a little bit smaller, but you know what? It still looks big enough, and I wanna roast it. So you can see it's slightly smaller, but it's still really good size there. And honestly, the best way to check is just by pulling them out. And baby beets are also really delicious to eat. It's less food, but they're still super tender and sweet and yummy. There's a lot of flavor in there. So if you have a big bed of beets like this in your garden, you can do like succession harvesting, where you're harvesting like a bunch of beets every week, and you harvest maybe baby beets first. And over time, as you harvest each bunch, every week they get a little bit bigger. So you can kind of enjoy the different flavor profiles of the beets as time changes, because they do change in flavor over time, for sure. The other thing is the beet tops. These are edible. What I like to do after I harvest my beets, I do like to take the tops off, because the beet will store much longer. So if I'm not going to eat this right away, I cut the top off, and my beet will last maybe 2 to 3 weeks in the refrigerator. If you keep the top on, what happens is these green leaves will still draw energy from the root here, and so your root will get really soft, and your greens will still stay green for a while, but you don't really want a soft root. So I remove the top there. You can definitely eat these greens. They're very similar to chard. Super yummy, sauteed. So don't necessarily get rid of these. They're pretty earthy, similar to beets. They're really earthy in their flavor. So here's our golden beet, and I'll pull out a Chioggia beet just so you can see. Again, just moving the soil a little bit on these guys to try and find a big one. I know you can't really see exactly what I'm doing from over there, but I'm just moving a little bit of the soil around the base. So found one that's a decent size. So this one's a little bit on the smaller side, but definitely still delicious and edible. And you can see we have this nice assortment of colors in terms of our beets here. Let's see if I can show you. Get it in the screen there. So we got like a golden beet, a deep red one, and this one, the Chioggia beet, is this nice pink color. And when you cut it open, it is got red and white stripes on the inside. So it's really cool. So enjoy your beets.